My name is Yannis Ikonomou. I'm from Greece and I speak 32 languages. Russian, Portuguese, Norwegian, Turkish, Hungarian, Czech, Polish.
Ioannis is what we call a hyper-polyglot. It means he can speak a lot of languages.
By the time I was 20, I'd already learned some 15 languages, and when I moved to Brussels and started my career at the EU institutions, I added more official EU languages.
See, the thing is, Ioannis, he's a quick learner.
Ja, ich bin sehr neugierig von Natur aus und慢慢意识到了怎么可能学习好外国语言。
This doesn't happen by just sitting at home and studying, though.
No, claro que no. Hay que viajar mucho, hay que estar en contacto con la gente. Это для меня прекрасное упражнение на этих языках. Bu en iyi metod yani yeni bir dil öğrenmek, onu kullanmak. E posso utilizzare veramente tutte queste lingue con i miei colleghi ogni giorno.
The world is a big place with different cultures and, yes, different languages.
Ik leef mijn leven in meerdere spraken, in meerdere talen, niet maar in één taal. I speak to my husband in Polish because he's Polish. I dream in all kinds of languages. Parmi toutes ces langues que j'ai apprises, je peux comprendre notre vaste monde.
Wait. Before we go, if anyone knows, it's you. What is the most complicated language to learn?
Mandarin.
Mystery solved.
Hello.
Normally when you think of words, they fit into a language.
Bonjour.
But there's a relatively new class of words that don't quite follow the rules, and it's called Wasayego. John Kelly is a language writer.
I spend a lot of my time writing about word origins.
He's a linguistics expert, and he knows just about everything about the phenomenon called Wasayego.
Wasayego literally means Japan-made English. It is a language process that takes foreign words, usually English words, and transmogrifies them into something wholly new and novel for Japanese purposes. We see this with a word like karaoke. Everybody knows and everybody loves karaoke, but it joins the Japanese kara, which means empty, and oke, which is a Japanese rendering of orchestra. So a karaoke is an empty orchestra.
The most popular example is the word Pokemon.
The creator of Pokemon took two English words, pocket and monster. He smashed them together and got Pokemon.
Or take cosplay, a word that describes people dressing up as fictional characters.
Cosplay joins costume and play.
And there's anime.
Anime is a fairly straightforward rendering of the English animation. Wasayego is important because language is always changing and reinventing itself.
What new words will pop up in the future? Only time will tell.
Pardon me, Professor. Maybe you can help me out here. Is this word pronounced cash or cachet?
Cash.
Appreciate it, Doc. You see, when Jock Bailey pronounces a word, he pronounces it right. He can pronounce this thing.
Smaragdin.
He can pronounce this thing.
Scherenschnitte.
He even pronounces words that don't make a lick of sense.
Albumin.
And when you're that damn good with words, sooner or later someone's gonna pay you to say them.
Hi, Dr. Bailey.
This is Jock Bailey, the official pronouncer of the National Spelling Bee.
Luxembourg.
L-U-X-E.
Gala. Sherbet. Gyro. GIF.
Before Jock's days as the world's foremost pronouncer of persnickety words, he began his spelling career on the other side of the microphone. Jock was a competitive speller, and in 1980, he found himself in the finals of the Scripps National Spelling Bee. His word? Elucubrate. So he said,
E-L-U-C-U-B-R-A-T-E. And it means to burn the midnight oil, to study all night.
And with those 10 letters, Jock became a champion. 23 years later, Jock had elucubrated all the way to the big show.
Propiophenone, Roquefort, pyroclastic.
Can I please have the definition?
But sometimes, even Jock's meticulous pronunciations don't tell the whole story.
English words are not always spelled as they sound. One thing that makes English words really hard to spell is the schwa. The schwa is that like in butter, or unutterable.
The Y in syringe, the A in balloon, the O in freedom. They all sound the same spoken out loud. A speller's nightmare.
The longer and weirder a word is, the easier it is to spell. Take the state fish of Hawaii, the huma huma nuku nuku apua'a. That's an easy word to spell. It's just long. It's a weird word, and weird things stand out and are easier to remember.
O-N-O-M-A-S-I-A, paranomasia.
Correct.
Let's go.
For a man with perhaps the most legitimate claim as the authority on pronunciation, Jock takes a rather agnostic approach to the right and wrong ways to say things.
A lot of people are kind of amazed that I know how to pronounce all these words, but I don't. I read them from the dictionary. Well, how does the dictionary know how to pronounce a word? Because they go out there and listen to native speakers. If there are a whole bunch of people who pronounce a word a certain way, that makes it a correct pronunciation. People who have very strong opinions that there's an incorrect way to pronounce a word, but it's like saying, that dog barked wrong. That's not a bark. Well, the dog gets to decide.
Thanks, Jock. I reckon you got more wisdom than all the books in the library.
In many parts of the world, Scrabble is viewed as a pastime, as a game where maybe old people play after retirement and all that. But Scrabble in Nigeria is actually very big. It is seen as a sport. There is an actual Nigerian Scrabble Federation under the Ministry of Sports. They have a lot of young people hoping to earn an actual living from playing Scrabble. My name is Wellington Jigere, and I'm the World Scrabble Champion. I started playing Scrabble in 1996 when my immediate elder brother taught me the game. It wasn't until 6 years after that I was playing with some of my neighborhood friends, and they were like, you are quite good. Why not play in tournaments? And I was like, wow, you mean they play this in tournaments? And the rest is history, as they say. Having an African win the World Scrabble Championship is bigger than I can actually comprehend. You needed to have been in the hall to see the jubilation of our other African brothers. It was something that everyone in Africa that plays Scrabble has actually looked forward to. Nigeria is a very, very diverse nation. We have well over 500 developed languages, but the major means of communication all over Nigeria is English. And since Scrabble is based upon the English vocabulary, it's going to be a way of helping each and everyone improve their command of the English language. So what do you think we should play from here? If I hadn't played Scrabble, I might have been involved in some other not so legitimate activities, and I think playing Scrabble, it keeps you on the right track. Okay, go. We are not blind to the fact that the level of unemployment in the country is very, very immense. So I came up with the Wellington Foundation for Scrabble and Mind Development in Africa. There's a lot of similarities between how life actually goes and how Scrabble goes. You get to understand that it's not all the time that you get things your way. You really have to make the best out of the little that you are given. You know, each country is known for a particular sport. Brazil, for example, is known for football. We are hoping to make Scrabble a Nigerian sport, whereby if you mention Scrabble in any part of the world, Nigeria should come to mind.
To be or not to be, that is a question whether it is noble in the mind to suffer those things, and I was a very disfortunate to consequence to see of troubles, and by opposing in them to die, to sleep, pretends to dream. Ah, you get the idea.
The Micro Machine Man here, presenting the genuine, original, colossally collectible, most midget miniature replicas of the real things, Micro Machines.
A lot of people know me as the Micro Machine Man, or the FedEx guy, or Terrible Testaverde from Saved by the Bell, or just that guy who talks fast. In fact, I was in the Guinness Book as the world's fastest talker, and so for the last 40 years, if you needed a fast talker, I was your go-to guy. Is that okay? Did you get everything you need? I mean, I can repeat it again if you want. You sure you don't want me to do it again? Because I can do it again. But that's no problem. I'll just do another take for you because of what it's going to take. When I was 12 years old, I wanted to get into the Guinness Book of World Records. So I figured the only thing I could really do, since I wasn't going to eat a car or swallow lead pipe, was to lock myself in a room and teach myself fast talking. And I did that with the Hamlet soliloquy. To be or not to be, that is to be or not to be, that is to be or not to be, that is the question. Years later, I'm at this party, fancy California Beverly Hills party, and a friend of mine is trying to pick up this Valley girl. He's from New York and talking pretty quickly, and she looks at him and says, like, oh my gosh, are you like the world's fastest talker? And he says, no, as a matter of fact, this person is. They called me over and I did one of my little party routines. And a guy walked over and he says, that's incredible, I'm a producer and I'm going to put you on a show. I went on the show and I did the fast talking thinking that would be it. And all of a sudden the phone starts ringing and I'm booked all over the place and I managed to make a living out of it. I can speak as fast as 11 words a second. Now, I never do 11 words a second for TV. Well, let me do Peter Piper at 11 words a second. Peter Piper, and you kind of hear me going pub, 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 but that's really all you're kind of getting. But when you do TV, there's visual reinforcement. People see you and do whatever, so I do about 7 to 8 words a second. That would sound something like, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle pups, a peck of pickle pups, Peter Piper picked, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle pups, just a peck of pickle pups, Peter Piper picked. Now on radio, I have to do it even a little slower because you have no visual reinforcement, you're not seeing me. So then I do about 5 to 6 words a second. So it sounds something like, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle peppers, a peck of pickle peppers, did Peter Piper pick it, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickle peppers, just a peck of pickle peppers, Peter Piper picked. And that's kind of the secret to my success, because if you can't understand what I'm saying, they're not gonna pay me the big bucks. Now, the very first commercial I did was the Federal Express commercial. It is, to this day, the most award-winning commercial in the history of advertising. The final scene, I'm sitting behind a desk, and I'm going, you know, Dave, what's the deal? What the deal are we dealing? Dave, it's a deal with Don. If it's a deal with Doc.
The deal good. I'm putting you down to deal with Dick. Dick, what's the deal?
So I did the thing like 29 times without making a mistake. And the director said to me, what are you, like a machine? You never make a mistake? I said, you want a mistake? I'll give you a mistake the next time. So I said, Dave, it's a dork with Dick, Don, and Duck. And that's the take he ended up putting in the commercial.
It's a deal with Dave, Dick, and Dave. Don, it's a dork with Dick, Dave, and Duck. Don, it's a dork with Dick, Dave, and Duck.
The first time I saw it, I called him and said, John, it's our little secret. Although I'm known as the world's fastest talker, I do not choose to live my entire life in the fast lane. Sometimes I just like to take it all a little slower. But sometimes it's really, really good to be fast.